Monday, October 23rd. Getting it, pulling everything out of the cars. Got the main 410 car here. Started pulling out the fuel lines, drained the tank, took the fuel pump off. Got all the plumbing out. Can tear down the backup car here. Try and get this thing sold. Got another new car on the way. Got to do the same thing. Pull all the fuel lines out, getting the fuel drained. Get this thing sold and keep after it. "6:30 in the morning, headed to the swap meet a little later than normal, but weather's not looking so great, so getting ready to roll out." This year for the swap meet, we went through the shop and figured out what we weren't using that was things other people could use. We didn't want to go through and get junk, but we got things that maybe we haven't used in a couple years, or we're not going to use because we've changed brands, things like that. This year we were really fortunate. We put things on Facebook as we were cleaning them up and getting them ready, and had a lot of feedback and actually sold a lot of things before we even got to the swap meet. That helped a lot because the weather wasn't great this year, but we did a good job moving the stuff we needed to move, and hopefully help some guys out on some of the things they could use as well. So at the end of the season, we take the engine out, pull it out of the car, remove the headers, fuel lines, gauges, and get the engine cleaned up to go back for a rebuild. Usually of the 410, people are going between 15 and 20 races. We ended the year with 18 on ours, so we're gonna send it back for a rebuild. When we pull it out, we make sure to put lube in the barrel valve and blow out all the rest of the lines so they don't get caked up in the off season. Take the engine back to Paul Kistler, does a great job for us. We only had one engine this year. We did get it rebuilt halfway through the year, and he was able to do it on a quick turnaround, which helps out a lot when you only have one engine. And just make sure we take the fuel pump, the bypasses, and the mag box, and get all those checked, so when we get the engine back, we have no issues going back in the car. When we pull a front end out of the car, we go through the brakes and hubs, make sure that everything looks good. We're gonna put new bearings and seals in them. The front end that's in the car right now actually uses grease in the bearings, but we'll change it over to oil to match the rest of our front ends for next year. We go through the rod ends on the tie rod and drag link, make sure that they are good. If they're not, we replace them with new. And generally we can reuse most of the brakes. I am hard on brake rotors, so that always gets a new brake rotor. But as far as the caliper, we reuse our calipers. And this year, we're actually going to go through all our front axles and make sure that we have the same ones. With switching cars throughout the year, we end up with 3 different brands of front axles. And we are gonna just simplify, go to one for next year so that we can swap and not have issues between brands. This year we were fortunate to not hit anything with our steering gear, so we ran it the entire season. In years past, when we've hit infield tires or gotten in wrecks, we send them back right away because we just can't trust that they're gonna work. This season, or this off season, we pulled the gear out. It's gonna go to Linder's and get serviced and be freshened for next year. This gear is actually 2 or 3 years old. As long as you keep the maintenance up on them and make sure that you're sending them back and getting them rebuilt, you can run them until they're not good anymore.